Mommy said, before she left, that music lives in my fingers. The small voice barely rose above a whisper, but it shattered something inside Claire Hartley's chest. She knelt beside 4-year-old Lily Thornton in the mansion's music room, where dust motes floated through afternoon light and the grand piano sat untouched for 2 years, since the day Lily's mother, Grace, had died in a car accident while rushing to pick up Lily's autism diagnosis results. The irony was cruel. Grace never learned what Claire now knew, that Lily wasn't broken, just different, brilliantly different. Claire, 25, had taken this nanny position out of desperate necessity. Her younger brother, Danny, needed surgery for his heart condition, and their parents' medical debt had swallowed everything. She'd studied early childhood development before dropping out to work 3 jobs, but none paid enough. When she saw the Thornton posting, the 8th nanny position in 2 years, offering triple the normal rate, she applied despite the warnings from the agency. Mr. Thornton is difficult, cold, impossible to please. What they didn't say was that Marcus Thornton, 33, wasn't cold by nature. He was drowning. The CEO of Thornton Industries had built empires, but couldn't build a bridge to his own daughter. After Grace's death, he'd thrown himself into 16-hour workdays, not from callousness, but from guilt so heavy it crushed his lungs. Grace had begged him that morning to take Lily to the appointment himself. He'd said no. He had a board meeting. Always a meeting, always something more urgent than the people who needed him most. Now Lily lived in her own world, spinning in circles, lining up toys with mathematical precision, speaking rarely. Doctors said the autism was genetic, likely inherited, possibly triggered by prenatal stress when Grace had struggled with severe anxiety. Marcus blamed himself anyway, for the stress he'd caused Grace, for the appointment he'd missed, for everything. Claire had spent 3 weeks learning Lily's patterns, the way she hummed when content, covered her ears when overwhelmed, how she'd touch Claire's hand once, gently, when she wanted to feel safe. Marcus barely noticed. He came home late, left early, and communicated through his assistant, until the school's annual talent gala invitation arrived. Each student must be accompanied by at least one parent. An evening celebrating our children's gifts through dance, art, and performance in the grand hall. Marcus stared at it like a summons to war. "She can't go," he told Claire flatly. "Lily doesn't perform. She doesn't interact. She'll be overwhelmed." "She hums," Claire said quietly. "Every day at 4 o'clock, when the grandfather clock chimes, she hums the melody perfectly. She has music in her, Mr. Thornton. She just needs someone to help her let it out." Something flickered in his eyes. Pain, maybe? Or memory? Grace used to say that. Then maybe we should listen. The evening of the gala, the grand hall glittered with chandeliers and expectation. Parents in evening wear filled velvet seats, while children backstage buzzed with nervous energy. Lily stood frozen in her pale blue dress, her hands flapping rapidly, a sign of rising panic. Claire knelt beside her. "Remember what we practiced, sweetheart? Just you and me. Nothing else matters." But Lily's eyes were wide, but nothing else matters. But Lily's eyes were wide, unfocused. Around them, children laughed and chattered. The noise was a wall of chaos. Marcus stood nearby, rigid in his suit, watching his daughter's distress with an expression of such profound helplessness that Claire's heart ached. "She can't do this," he said, voice rough. "We should leave." "Just give her one moment," Claire whispered. The stage manager called their number. Other children had danced, painted live art, recited poetry. Now it was Lily's turn. Claire had registered them for interpretive dance, simple, flowing movements to Debussy's Clair de Lune. No words required, just feeling. But as they reached the stage wings, Lily went completely still, shutting down. Claire did something she'd never done before. She laid down right there on the floor in her simple dress and began moving her arms slowly, like swimming through air, humming the melody. "Dance with me?" she whispered, extending her hand. For an eternal moment, nothing. The stage manager gestured frantically. Parents murmured. Then Lily's small hand found Claire's. They walked onto the stage together, Claire guiding, Lily following. When the music began, Claire didn't choreograph or perform. She simply moved with Lily, matching her rhythm, following her lead. When Lily spun, Claire spun. When her hands fluttered like birds, Claire's did too. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't polished. It was real. The grand hall fell silent. Parents stopped whispering because what they witnessed wasn't a performance. It was communication, a language of acceptance. Claire was showing everyone what she'd learned, that meeting someone in their world rather than demanding they enter yours was the truest form of love. Marcus stood at the back, tears streaming down his face for the first time in 2 years. He saw his daughter, truly saw her, not as a problem to fix, but as a person to understand. And he saw grace in Claire's patience, in Lily's courage. When the music ended, applause erupted, but Lily didn't hear it. She was looking at Claire, then at her father in the crowd, and for the first time since Grace died, she spoke clearly. "Daddy, did you see me dance?" Marcus was on the stage before he could think, kneeling, gathering his daughter into his arms. "I saw you, baby. I saw you, and you were beautiful. I'm so sorry I haven't been seeing you all along." Lily touched his wet cheek gently. "It's okay, Daddy. Claire helped me find the music again." Months later, Claire still worked for the Thorntons, but now Marcus came home at 5. They'd play music together, the three of them. Danny got his surgery, funded by a quiet check Marcus wrote, without telling Claire until the hospital called her. On Lily's 5th birthday, as they danced in the living room, Marcus said softly to Claire, "Grace would have loved you. Thank you for giving me my daughter back, and for reminding me that being present is the only success that matters." Claire smiled. "She gave you the music. I just asked her to dance." Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is extend your hand and ask someone to meet you in their world. And sometimes that one moment of acceptance changes everything. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, subscribe, and comment.